Shalom, shalom. Welcome back to the gardens here on the homestead. Welcome back to the channel. All praises to Abaya. So, I wanted to give just checking quickly because I just have a quick chat. Checking quickly and have a quick chat of my progress here. So, I'm making some progress on the uh, 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 on the greenhouse that I'm looking to build. No, I'm learning as I go along for this one. I've never done a greenhouse before. Uh, I don't know what it's gonna look like at the end, but I have a vision in my mind that is how it should turn out. Um, so I'm going to be using pallets to make the greenhouse and with some covering, pallets for the framing and stuff. And then to do some covering over it. Um, I see what I'm still on research to see what's available or what's the best type of greenhouse for a tropical island. Where most of the time the weather is above 20 degrees Celsius. So for those who probably in the United States use Fahrenheit, 20 degrees Celsius. So this is where I'm at right now with the greenhouse. So this morning I went ahead and I planted and I cemented the post. So there's one there, there's one further over there, there's one there, and the other one is right here. So I'm just sitting on one end of the one end. So this is where I'm at with the greenhouse. I've planted the posts, I've cemented them in. So what I'll be doing now after the cement is set and dried properly, I will start start looking to do some intermediate post in between, and prayerfully that I can get my truck in order or I want it to, so I can go get some pallets in the city. So reuse pallets or broken pallets, because that's what I wanted to use to put the greenhouse together. And prayerfully it has enough length. Probably it's about 10, 20, about 30 feet, about 30 feet by about 17 feet or so, or by about 4 to 15 feet, or about 15 feet, or probably by 30 by 15, right? I think that's what it appears to be to me. I measured it, but I don't remember the measurement. So it's about 30 by 15 feet. Our greenhouse, and we want to really get our vegetable garden going in the real way that I want to get it going, and my nursery. So I'm going to be using it for our nursery and plant growing our veg. You can see there. Can you see them? Our chickens. Yeah, there are our chickens right there. Three of them right here. I don't know if you can see them. Yeah. So I want to do it specifically for our nursery to get the starter plants going and to grow our vegetable. Because what I find is that we had initial success with planting our initial set of vegetables, but the second batch it didn't work out for us. So I don't want to go ahead and waste my organic seed that I got. So I want to ensure that I am trying to get my mulching together and proper topsoil together so I can put and the composting so I can put this together, right? So I can get our nursery going so we can have baby plants and be able to transplant them around in the even in the air in the greenhouse. So probably should be big enough so we can really have our beds and plant properly. But as we see it turn out, it's still yet to be seen what it's going to look like. I definitely, want to get it going. Um, where I'm sitting at this end is where we're putting the entrance to the greenhouse because I think we're just gonna have one entrance to the greenhouse, and the back part will be the other part will be enclosed, and the sides will be enclosed. We just have one entrance door, again to be determined because it's not fully off the ground yet. But as soon as I get the pallets, start to kick it, start to get going, put them together, ground, put them together so we can start to see the shape. And then I'm looking to purchase some material. I haven't gone to the store yet, the farm store, to see what type of materials they have and what's the best options here for the greenhouse. But I will take a look one of these days this week. Yeah, willing. If I'm able to get to the store, I will stop in and check. I'll stop in and check and to see what materials they have. But it's a joy to be able to, learn these things because I'm learning as I go along. I've never done homesteading before. You know, uh, well, that's not 100% true. To be, um, I was raised in the country to a certain degree. I wasn't really into much planting though, because back then most of my mindset was, I guess, setting on getting to work and getting to the city and have a job, but not necessarily want to work on the land. We were brought up. So I have brothers that used to plant and stuff, but in terms of me actually getting in it and doing it, then I have some level of newness to it, but I have some level of understanding of certain things already. But definitely like a greenhouse, I've seen it done. You know, you know, colleagues that I know, buddies that I know, fellow brethren, their family, I know they have greenhouse. Other people, that I've seen, that I know of, have greenhouses. They set up on their homestead to plant certain food and stuff because they have winter. But because here in the islands we can have really strong summer sun, and in the rainy season we can get a lot of rain. I really wanted to create that environment for some of our plants that don't want all that sun and all that rain, but we have that balance, right? So and then we obviously we have to water them. So I saw something on YouTube. I watched it. I haven't watched it, but the title was um, it's product greenhouse with guttering system for watering, and by just the heading, I like what it was saying. So I might incorporate as much as I can in this greenhouse the possibility of getting some level of water guttering system to water the plants that are inside, right? So if you're willing, I'll be able to incorporate that. I think I do have the space to put the catchment or the container to catch the water from the roof. If I do a roof, depending on how I do it, if I'm able to, based on the materials available here, if I'm able to do a roofing, then I'll do some of the plastic stuff or whatever they have. So if the water run off, then I can set an area where, and that would actually be awesome to be able to catch the water, put it through some perforated pipes that may be inside there, right? Or in a by some drip hose, so I can put it over the stuff or on the bed that we will be having inside the greenhouse. So when it comes, it drips through and we water our seedlings, water our plant for us, so we can can save on water. Because here in the Kodesh Gardens, we have to manage our resources well, right? And everywhere where water run off, we like to, as an opportunity like this, to capture it, right? To harvest it. So we don't like to let water go to waste whenever we can harvest it because we're not on city water, right? We're not on the town water. Um, so, we have to harness as much water as possible. And I'll be looking so also so for I'll be looking to get another uh, storage storage tank um, for to add to our capacity. You know, prayerfully that I'm able to get this done. Within this month or even early next month. Um, to get that one done and add it to our system. Um, because sometimes we do get rain. When we get rain, it can be pretty long and it really fills up our existing containers. So that even think of when it's falling, it's there, and you're like, oh my god, oh my, all our storage containers are filled up, and the land is saturated with water. But as soon as the water is over and the dry season starts coming and the sun starts to shine, then all the water on the land that you get dried up, and you start to use from your storage, and then you'll be like, oh, I need about the rain again. So as much as we can collect, we want to be able to, as Yah gives us strength. So let Yah be praised. Let Yah be praised. I am very um interesting to see how the greenhouse will look after we're done, and I'll share as we go along. You know, in a certain section of the progress. But sometimes you just gotta put on the camera and get to work. Today, first day of the week. Uh, yeah, kind of bit of one of those days. It's a beautiful day here in the Kodesh Garden, nonetheless. You know, but just still trying to just keep it. Uh, just keeping it real. Just wanting to pop in quickly just to chat about you homesteading and what we're doing. It's all about work. It's all about work. I've seen comments. I've heard people talk about. I've quite a bit of people. When you see them make their comments and say, "Oh, I would love to get out there. I'd love to go out and uh, market." There's a lot of women. Some of them have their family, but most of the time it's the women are more vocal. Some of the men are there as well, but I love to be a part of a homestead, a farm. I love to get this done. I love to learn. I love to do this. And kudos. It's good to want to learn, but it's a lot of work. And one thing I can tell you, it's a lot of work to to run and to build a homestead. And as one brother said, the work that is that makes it a lot. It's the building phase, and that's where I'm seeing, and I can resonate with that when the brethren mentioned that it's the building phase of your homestead. Sometimes you go and see some people with their homestead, you know, you know, with their even their permaculture farm and all these things, and you see it's all completed and it's functioning, right? And you're like, wow, that's a beautiful sight. A lot of trees and a lot of fruit trees and a lot of this, right? And a lot of vegetation and vegetable and things that you can eat and all these things. That's like, wow, that's ready. But I can, but just imagine before it reached that state, then it was the work being put in. It was the bloopers, the errors, the corrections, right? The trees that didn't make it, the plants that got hit, all the different things about, you know, homestead or permaculturing, right? So it's the building phase. It's a building phase of the gardens and the homestead that you really will have to be dedicating yourself to getting the time in, putting the efforts in, to see it up and running. And once you're in, like you're, it's like the building phase never really fully complete, in my opinion, because there's always something to be done on the homestead. But once you reach a certain stage, like finish your greenhouse, get all your plants, or most of your plants that they want in the ground up and then start to grow on these things, then it start to become maintenance and managing it instead. You know, start to managing your stuff, right? Your greenhouse, managing the plants, harvest when they're harvest, replant. Because now you're not necessarily looking to build a greenhouse again, it's already built, but just start turning over the plants from different stages, and putting more stuff in the ground because you're more organized now. So I could see where maintaining the homestead and reaping the rewards of your labor, it is much more enticing than the part of really getting out and putting on the dirt and getting things done. But let our praise, I mean, man has to be able to do these things without fear. Um, Sometimes it can be intimidating based on all that for you because you're building a homestead from raw land. And when you're on raw land, you see all that is there. You have to go through all that needs to be gone, right? So when you're on raw land, that's what it is. When we initially acquired this piece here, um, it was a lot of trees and brushes, and it was raw, as raw land, forested land. Up here, you know, when you look at it, you could see the beauty with the vision, but you won't be able to see it because it wasn't fully cleared as yet. So that is some of the things that's what it is when you're building from raw. Because if we had purchased a established homestead and we're it's a whole house on it and we just need to do a little bit of refurbishing or change up and things here and there, you know then probably the work wouldn't have been all that much. But because you're starting from foundation, you're starting from fresh, from beginning, from the berry sheet, you will encounter all there is. You know, you have to face, all the different stages of the building phase. From when we started, it was, we came down and got a few guys and we cleared the land and we were clearing the land. It took me a few days to clear the section that I wanted to set zone one where we have the habitable structure and just looking at it and when you look at it, it was like you know getting to that habitable stage is where you want to be, but when you look at it, like wow, and we started all of this, you know, in a time where um, things was a bit okay. It was basically okay in terms of the economy. But then, we started the cutting phase and clearing the land and stuff. But then in the year, which was when was it? When we came? It's actually wow. I was gonna say last year, but I forgot that we're actually in another year according to what the system. We're in another year according to what they're saying, but I just realized that it's not last year, it was the year before. It was actually in 2020. Because I wanted to come to break ground, you know. I wanted to come down to break ground um back in 2020. But then guess what happened? The COVID hit, the pandemic hit, whatever they call it, hit. The coronavirus, the Omicron flu, whatever cron. All these things hit when I was looking to come um, and start, you know, the breaking of ground for the foundation. So I was unable to move. I really was unable to move at that time. And but let Yahweh praise. Let Yahweh praise. I was like, you know what? I wanted to start breaking ground in possibly the January of that year. But then when these COVID things start happening, by March of that year, it was full blown and lots of um lots of changes and lots of lockdowns and lots of uncertainty. And I was like, oh my yeah, what am I going to do? What am I going to do? You know what? Yeah, I was always at the head. Yeah, I was always at the head. And I started to check out on some stuff, and I started to check out on some stuff and see how we can get this going. And yeah, opened a way for us. So yeah, opened a way for us, and you know we got started, and we got started, and we break ground even while I wasn't present, and that was just to me a blessing. That was just to me a blessing, you know, because we were able to break ground. And I know even the person who who we're working with, he was like, but preferably you to be here and all these things. And we're talking about the pandemic and what's going on and how we're going to make things work. And things gonna he was saying things gonna be pretty slow and whatever. And my conversation with him was, hey, in this project there's no slowness and there's no haste. It's quoting from scripture because whatever we do, we'll be doing it for the goodness of the outcome that we're looking to get. So there's no slowness. If whatever you might see is slow, it's slow. What you might think it's fast, it might be fast to you, but not necessarily slow or fast. But it's just a pace that it's going right. So I always have that notion, and then that was my mental capacity going to say, hey, this is where we are. This is what we have to work with. Get it going. We started, and if you have a praise, um, now we are here, before the start, trying to build and further establish things that, things that needs to be done. I'm working on a garden here at the back, a different section, which I've showed before, but trying to get it prepped a little bit better because there's a lot of mulch down. There's a lot of mulch in that section. It's really looking good. And I wanted to, as soon as I complete this section of the of the greenhouse, I'll be getting some of the mulch there to fit in the section, create the beds and set up, and so we can really have some really nice organic vegetables growing, you know, because the aim of it is to really get good, sweet, naturally organic vegetation so we can consume and eat. Um, but the other praise, you know, that brings us, uh, I don't know, this is as I mentioned, what's next for me that I'm looking to work on, and prayerfully that get all the intuition and do some work research that needs to be done. It's not gonna be too complicated. It's really, to me, straightforward stuff, thing that needs to be done. I just need to ensure that I figure out where the materials are sold. I haven't figured that out yet, but I'll check the stores to see if they have them. Um, and the type of the what best because they keep it at a certain level, then I'll create a roof. I'm not sure if I'm going to create a gable roof or arch roof, but yes, yeah, still to be determined based on the capacity of what I'm going to do and the materials that I have. Because I want to use a lot of repurposed material to get this one going. I don't want to be purchasing. I don't want to be purchasing materials, but just more or less repurpose materials as much as I can. get it going. So that's what I really want to do. So I do have some resources materials around, so get them together and get to work. So this was happening here in the Polish Garden. Um, I'll I'll update you as soon as I make further progress on other areas of the garden. So it's a joy actually. It's very much of a joy. I know it's just for me, just quite a bit of work. I guess I'm getting used to all this bit of work to be candid. um, when you were in a corporate job, um, you're in a corporate job where you operate, with you know we're in that environment, that world where sometimes the heaviest thing I might lift is my laptop, which is normally everything that I lift is my laptop. I'm like, right? But no, what's everything I'm lifting? I don't know. I lift a lot of different things that have different level of weight. From the machete to the chainsaw to the axe to 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 lumber to different things that's here, right? Um, to wood and to all these things, to stones, so all different things. I have to be lifting. That is different comparison. So it is how it is. I was thinking that I would have built some more muscles already, but um, yeah, I guess it's slow in progress. So this morning I was chopping out some roots because they have stumps where I cut some trees and leave the stump there. So I'll be looking to continue to remove those as we go along from around certain section of our yard area, so we can flatten land and not too much bumps. Right, so we can move a bit easier on some stuff that we want. But there's not a lot. There's a couple of got rid of few already. So there's a few more I need to get out. But over time, as progress comes on, and as we get the happy praise. Who is like him? Who is like the one who created the heaven and the earth? Like, you know, so one thing I was reflecting on yesterday on the rest, was the rest day, and with reflection, I was like, man, reflection on the book of Sirach. There was a verse in chapter 2 said, if you come to serve, you are prepared thy soul for temptation. And I can tell you, sometimes it's here and you might feel in that mood, in that zone, yeah, with his rock, able to help you to get over whatever it is. Because when you see the task in front of you and you say, oh my, it's a big task, but then you gotta like, how does someone eat? Uh, you know, as they say, as they might say, how does someone eat, you know, an elephant? But we don't eat elephant, get unclean food, but how do you eat like a cow? Just one bite at a time. Yes, and as my body mentioned a while back, we chat, the small steps count too. Small steps do count. Because sometimes I want to make the big steps and big leaps and bounds, and I want to get there with this, with this view of what the accomplishment I would like to accomplish. And because it sounds great and it looks great and it would be great when you get there. But sometimes make some bigger steps and sometimes make some small ones. But small one does count as well. So my body, definitely, pick up to my body and brother, brother Matthew, um, who reach out, talk about these things. Sometimes, you know, you have to build a strength as well because small steps do come. And sometimes we make some small steps and like, okay, at least I make a move because this is what I did today. I cemented the post in the ground with some concrete mortar, and you could see him as a small step as well. But I know it's been dry and they've been firmed up, when the model is fully dry. So I know I can start to make some more action to it, get the beat, because they're my corner posts, right? So, it can seem as a, hey, this is just a small step today, but it does count, it does count, because as soon as I did that, there are other stuff to be done, things to be done here and there, so I just have to be, multifaceted and getting around the curves and getting things done, all these things. So let Yahweh praise. It is continuous, and gonna be leaving it right now, and we're gonna connect as soon as we have some more updates on Polish Gardens. Let Yahweh praise. Feel free to check it out. Get a chance to see this video, to hear what we're talking about and what we're up to here in the Polish Garden. Stay safe in here, and shalom.